going on, everybody? This is Cody, the home theater hobbyist. And if you're like me, you like home theater, but you also like to listen to music as well. And maybe you've considered getting into critical listening. Well, there's always that, daunting task of figuring out what gear you need for the new hobby. And I've spent a little bit of time with this pair of headphones, the HiFiMan Sundaras. And honestly, if you're thinking about getting into critical listening, I'm going to recommend these HiFiMan Sundaras just off the bat. They should be on your short list. So in this video, I'm going to break down why I think these are really good headphones for critical listening. The HiFiMan Sundara is an open back planar magnetic headphone. It has a frequency response from 6 Hz to 75,000 Hz, an impedance of 37 ohms, and a sensitivity of 94 dB. The headphones weigh 13.1 ounces, and the included cable is 4.9 feet or 1.5 meters. In the box, you get the headphones, a 1/4 inch adapter, an audio cable, and the manual. So I'm going to start this review out by talking about the design and build quality of these headphones. First and foremost, they come in black, as you can see here, and the build quality is quite nice. You've got a metal frame all the way around the headband, and it extends all the way through the cups and even the grills on the side. I think it's aluminum because it's pretty lightweight. Right here, you've got a little bit of plastic with the HiFiMan logo there, but it doesn't feel like cheap plastic or anything like that. The headband itself is a leather-like material if it's not leather, but it's pretty much like a leather-like material up top, and there's felt on the inside, so it's nice and comfortable on your head. Coming back to the ear cups themselves, as you can see, they are circular, but I didn't have any issues with my ears touching on the inside of the cups at all. As far as the grill is concerned, this is an open back headphone. This doesn't, it's not closed in like a closed back headphone. And what that means is with loud volumes, your sound will leak out of the headphones, and you can also hear sound, from your exterior coming around you. So you're not going to be wearing these on like a train or a bus or anything like these. These aren't necessarily for traveling. These are for sitting at home and listening. Now, one of the benefits of having an open back headphone is the fact that it makes the soundstage seem a little bit wider, a bit more natural, and that definitely works in these favor. They also allow, or an open back headphone is also a bit more breathable, so you don't have to worry about your ears getting hot and sweaty inside these cans after hours of listening. And I can attest, I didn't have any issues with that either. Now, moving on to the ear cups themselves, the interior of the ear cups is nice and soft. Nice soft cotton, probably feels really nice and comfortable in the head, and it's actually pretty plush. It's got what I'd call a pretty just plushness. It's not even a medium plush, it's a soft plushness, I guess I would say. And the ear cups themselves are thinner in the front and thicker in the back, and that allows them to contour around your head a little bit better. And these ear cups are user replaceable. In the manual, they actually show you exactly how to remove the ear cups if you need to remove them. In the box, you do get the detachable headphone cable, and it is labeled left and right, so you can plug them in to the bottom of the headphones. Now, one thing I should say about these headphones is these aren't travel headphones. They don't come with a case. The ear cups themselves tilt down and up like that, but they don't swivel in and out or anything like that. So these are, more headphones that you're going to have at home and just kind of sit them on your rack like that. So I give these a 7.5 out of 10 for design and build quality. Overall, I think they've done a good job with this build quality. I did read some stories online about version 1 having some issues with, rubbing right here where you extend the headphones out, and I don't have that issue at all, even though I've had these for a few weeks. And so I think they've done a good job, fixing those little build quality issues. And these are very, very comfortable. I was able to wear them for hours without experiencing any discomfort. I didn't have any headaches or any feelings of pressure. I also didn't have any issues with ears sweating or even ears being warm because these are breathable. So again, from a comfort standpoint, these feel good. The only area where I'm like, you can like it, you don't like it, I personally don't mind this grill look on the side of the headphones, but I could see some people having a little bit of an issue with it. Before we get too far in this video, I want to give a shout out to Apos Audio. They sent me the Sundaras for review, and actually I really like them, so I'm happy they sent them. If you want to purchase the Sundaras, cables, a DAC, a headphone amplifier, basically anything for your 2-channel headphone listening needs, definitely use those links in the description below. Now let's talk features and technology. And these don't have a whole lot of features and technologies per se. It doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have an app, it doesn't have noise cancellation. You can't call people on the phone because there's no inline mic with these. These are for critically listening to music. But that's not to say it has nothing. Like I said, it has the planar magnetics. And for those of you who aren't aware, planar magnetics is basically a thin film usually sandwiched between two magnets, and that thin film is able to vibrate back and forth very quickly. So these do have very fast transients, very low distortion, and again, they're open back, so they have a nice wide sound field. Another feature, or at least a feature that I'd like to mention, is that the Sundaras don't need a ton of power. You can actually plug them into your phone and listen to music. Now, you will have to turn the volume up to like 80 or 90% to really get them going, but you can do it. And what that means is you don't have to buy an expensive headphone amplifier. You don't have to find something that's made out of like, unicorn tears or something really exotic. You can buy a simple, plain old headphone amplifier and it will drive these beautifully. So I give these a 6 out of 10 for features and technology. Like I said, they don't have a ton of features, but they do have the planar magnetics. They do have the ability to drive them with just a phone, so you can listen to that on your phone if you really want to. So I think it's just a little bit above average, so I give them a 6 out of 10. Moving on to sound quality. This is where the Sundaras truly shine. First and foremost, they have detail for days. I mean, details in the highs, details in the mid-range, detail is in the lows. They sound, tremendously detailed. Is great. Because they are planar magnetics, they also have very low distortion, so everything sounds clean and detailed. And I was actually a little bit concerned because I was like, man, this might be a little bit analytical. But it is analytical. I will say that it is analytical, but it's analytical without being a sterile sound. There's still feeling in the music. And I noticed it in the mid-range. I was listening to a little bit of actually Count Basie, some jazz, and there was actually nice smoothness to the sound. It wasn't just, I was playing the notes, but there was actually a smoothness to that mid-range. And vocals also sound very natural and very, very detailed. You can really hear your artist's voice coming through when they're really hitting those notes. Now let's talk about the high range, that treble. Again, these are clean and detailed, but they're not overly bright. They're not shrill at all. It actually kind of gets to that point and just kind of stops, kind of rolls off just a little bit. And so that's what I mean when I say that, again, they're analytical without being sterile. There's a smoothness there that's just a little touch of smoothness that really does sound good, especially in the treble and in the mid-range. Now moving into the low range, into the bass, again, it plays detailed, it plays clean, but it doesn't have the feeling, it doesn't have the oomph, it doesn't have that punch of bass that I was really looking for. And this is one area where I wish it had just a little bit more there. It sounds good, but it just didn't give me the feeling of bass that I was looking for. Now, as far as the soundstage is concerned, because these are open back, the soundstage is nice and wide, and they actually image pretty well. I mean, you have different things placed in the sound field where you would expect them. But there was a couple of times when I noticed that the lead singer's vocals were just a little bit left of center when I thought it should have been right on the center. So I did notice that. So that was one little small drawback, but otherwise these do sound good. So in the sound quality section, I give these a 9 out of 10. They have a clean, detailed sound. If that's what you're looking for, especially with critical listening, definitely check these out. They do a great job. The only thing I wish it had was just a little bit more of a feeling, a little bit more oomph in the bass, and the imaging, like I said, was just a touch off there at one point. But otherwise, I think they did a great job, so I give them a 9 out of 10. Now let's talk value, and I give these a 7 out of 10. Now I know some of you are thinking 7 out of 10, those headphones are like $350. There are definitely cheaper headphones out there, obviously. I mean, you can buy headphones at a gas station for under $10, right? But you're not going to use those for critical listening. Once you start getting into the critical listening category, obviously the headphone prices go up and you can spend way more than $350. These sound good, they have excellent comfort, and the build quality is also good. So from a value standpoint for critical listening, I give them a 7 out of 10. So overall, I highly recommend the HiFiMan Sundaras if you want some nice critical listening headphones. Yeah, they don't have all the fancy features, but again, these are for sitting at home, sitting down in your easy chair or in your space where you just kind of want to sit and listen to music, critically listen to music. They're going to give you great definition in the highs, in the mids, and even the bass is going to give you definition. Although I did wish, it had just a little bit more oomph to the bass. But again, these do a great job. So if you already have a pair of critical listening headphones, check these out because you might be surprised by just how much detail and clarity you get out of these. But if you don't, these are definitely a pair that you want to look into. So if you want to purchase these or anything else from HiFiMan, use those links in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you next time.